Welcome to the Luxe Leap. My name is Reland Logan, and we chat about women consultants making big moves, big wins, and the secrets to extraordinary branding. So I have a question. What if sales didn't feel pushy, performative, or pressure-filled, but instead felt like a natural extension of who you are? Today's guest is on a mission to make that the norm for creative service businesses across the board. Tamara, Tam, is the founder and conversation starter-in-chief of Studio 349. Where 49, I know numbers, I can read, and where she helps agencies and service pros build simple, sustainable sales systems that actually feel good and work. With 15 plus years in sales leadership for brands like Neiman Marcus, Ann Sachs, Tilestone, Tam knows exactly how to turn relationships into revenue without resorting to sleazy tactics or exhausting hustle. From her early days as a broadcast TV producer to her adventurous life as a makeup artist, ad creative, and yes, motorcycle racing mountain biker, we really have to dive into that, Tam has always believed in the power of transformation. Now she channels that same spirit into helping business owners ditch the feast or famine cycle and step into a more aligned, confident approach to sales. If you have ever wished selling could feel more like service and less like a struggle, this is your conversation. Please welcome the wise and wildly creative founder of Studio 349, Tam Smith. Hello, my friend. How are you?
Hi, it's great to be here. Thank you so much for that fabulous introduction.
I mean, maybe she's born with it. Maybe she's just Reland. I don't know. So, as we dive into everything today and knowing how much fun you and I have, I'm just going to give everybody a precursor. If me and Tam were given the opportunity, you'd be here for 2 hours. Thankfully for all of you, we have a call at the top of the hour, respectively. So we'll be concise, but that's not to say that she might not come back because we have way too much fun. And to kick off the fun, why don't you share with us what inspired you to start your brand?
I have always wanted to be an entrepreneur. And, it probably says a lot about my, undervaluing myself and my skills and abilities, but had always for years been looking outside of myself. Thinking it had to be some kind of external product and service. And, you and I have chatted. I would love to believe that I would have arrived at this place without, a very disruptive corporate exit, 3 moves in, 1 year in the course of 18 months, family health crisis and a global pandemic. But here we are. So literally kind of got forced out of the nest. Yeah. And it was, literally, I was fortunate when the disruption, let me back up, really started for me the end of like Q4 2019. And the job I was working for at the time, I call it my conscious uncoupling from corporate. They eliminated my position and we both, went separate ways. And I had just started a new job in the same industry. I was living in Texas at the time and had just started a new job in Dallas when my father was having some health challenges, independent of COVID. And then when everything escalated with COVID, I took that. I'm like, okay, this is my cue. This is time to relocate, back home to Mississippi where I grew up and support my dad's care. And I was fortunate with the exit from corporate. I had a little bit of a runway. Did I need to go back to work? Yes. But the drive for me was really more or less just kind of mental health during the disruption that was, COVID and everything else that came with that. And literally was in the hospital with my dad, Googling how to make money working from home. And the term virtual assistant came up, and it was, having worked in corporate, I always dealt with and, managed and hired payroll employees. I had never worked with contract talent. So it was really a new concept for me. So yeah, that's really how it started. I saw that and like, here we are.
I actually have a question for you that I've never asked you. To go from being a leader to becoming someone's assistant, what was that like? And there's nothing wrong with being an assistant, but like when you're a high level leader, you have almost kind of like parted ways with some of those skills And I'm curious what that felt like and what that transition was like. And then of course you went back to leading. But
Yeah.
like what was that feeling like?
I think honestly, until you asked that, I don't know that I was honestly aware in that shift, because doing something for someone else, like in a like a corporate capacity,
Yeah.
is very different than, you know, even today, doing something for yourself, you know, in your own business. Like representing me was,
Mhm.
it felt very new. I didn't feel experienced. I mean, I felt like a beginner. So it was really like starting over regardless of, you know, what experience I was coming from. This was a whole different ball game. So it felt very, very new, very different. And you granted, maybe it had something to do with just the climate and everything going on at the time. Like everything felt so just, there's just a lot of uncertainty.
Yeah.
And so I think it just felt very, very, very new. So I
Very
think
just
I went into it with fresh eyes.
that's good to know.
Yeah.
I was just very curious in the moment.
Yeah.
Clearly it came out of nowhere. So I needed to know.
Yeah.
So in that it was an uncertain time. We both got the COVID kick in the pants to start,
Hmm.
period. And you know what? I almost hate the word uncertain as much as I hated the word pivot in 2020.
Yeah.
Self-reflection in this moment,
Hmm.
because uncertain has continued to stay uncertain for the last 5 years.
Yeah.
And when we look and think about the terms pivot, we think about uncertainty. We think about how that shows up for us, especially being in sales, one of the most consistent and inconsistent industries, I swear, on planet Earth.
Hmm.
Like if you're in corporate America and you're in sales, like you are damn good if you've been there for longer than like 18 months. And you are a legend if you've been there for more than 3 years. And you are like, they need to start erecting statues of you if you've been there for 10 plus years. It is a very fickle, fickle industry to be in. Yet one that teaches you some of the best skills you will ever need in life.
Hmm.
So taking those skills, living in a space of uncertainty that, I mean, heaven knows what will happen when we turn on the TV later today.
No kidding.
How are they skill serving you right now?
Oh, I think just being flexible and adaptable. You know, I was in the sales capacity that I worked in when I was still in corporate. You know, I mean, I feel like now I'm relearning my craft all over again, because I'm
Ooh.
selling, air quote, in a very different capacity than I was when I was in corporate. But I think, you know, part of it is being, you know, with any relationship, it's just being audience aware and knowing the audience in front of you, and being able to still be true to yourself, but be able to adapt to how they receive information, and
Mhm.
you know, just being sensitive to who they are and how to build relationships. So I think it's remaining coachable and teachable and adaptable. Is definitely what I'm in every moment. I think every season of my business is just, yeah, that's the best way I can say it.
No, that's totally good to
Yeah.
know, because I think a lot of people and a lot of listeners, I would not be shocked if we were to poll them tomorrow to say, does the word sales make you feel icky? We're probably going to hear yes.
Oh, it even makes me say that. Like I wish there was a better word for it, because of just my former old associations with it. I say it and it's like I feel like I need a drink of water or something.
They're like, excuse me, like, can I
Yeah.
get a glass of
Yeah.
water? And and it's very interesting because when I talk to women who do sales,
Hmm.
like all of us have had that feeling of like, oh, but selling is icky. Yet we're so good at it, and we never do it in an icky way. And I had made a comment in a previous conversation yesterday, I believe, with a girlfriend where I was like, the people who are the best at sales, you never know that that's what they're doing because it feels like they actually care about you.
Yep. Yep.
And they're not going to push or pull or like put you in a place that you don't want to be. They're genuinely trying to help you.
Hmm.
And if at any point it feels like convincing, that's when it gets icky.
Yes.
And so to your point, it's like is how are we adaptable, but also how do we ask really damn good questions?
Mm-hmm. I was listening to one of your most recent episodes, and that's really all it is being able to be an effective listener and know how to ask their next right question and being curious. And it's not, I that is my like passion in life, is to reframe. Like we're all in sales, whether it's on your business card
Yes.
or not. And letting go of the whatever previous associations we have with it. And I'm about to get on my soapbox here, but if you have a product, service, solution that can help someone solve a problem or help them get to that next level in their life or business, I feel a responsibility to share that. And it's for them to decide if it's right for them. I was listening to an audiobook, and I wish there was a different name for it because the content and the messaging in it is so much better than this. But the title is Persuade So You Can Get Paid, which sounds icky, but the messaging in it was again, it was a whole reframe of what sales is. And it's like, we're just chief mind maker uppers. And I really liked that.
So cool.
Yeah. Like, it's like, hey, here's a potential solution to a problem or something that can help you achieve a goal in your life and help you like close that gap. I'm just here to educate you and help you decide if it's right for you. And if not, no sweat. So that's kind of my mission with it. It's, if you lead with an outward focus of the best interest of the person in front of you, I mean, really any relationship, business or personal, like you're going to get in return, you get what you give. Yes. And that's my attitude about it. So anyway, off soapbox.
You can stay on your soapbox, like stay elevated. By no means do you need to get down. Would a chief mind maker ever? That's just a quote in and of itself.
Yeah.
You need to put that somewhere close by at all times. Greatest title.
I can't take credit for that. I'm like looking right now so I can tell you that I should know. I've listened to this audiobook multiple times, and like I said, I wish there was a different name for it. It's Phil M. Jones. So I can credit Phil M. Jones for that.
Phil,
yeah.
We very rarely give men a round of applause.
I know. I wish I could attribute it to a female, but men do say some good things sometimes.
The girls on the Sales Girls, they have a podcast and they also like have a thing. They actually have a book called Persuade for Good. So like,
mm-hmm.
They didn't come up with chief mind maker upper, but like, that's a good one. We gotta like give people kudos where it belongs, and that's
a good one.
I'm gonna be saying that now for like the rest of the week. So sales has such a negative connotation, as we discussed, but to the point of like, it is there to help people make up their mind. And one of the things, fun fact about both of us, we both actually trained sales and retail. That was our jobs. And one of the things that I would always tell my team, and I continue to tell people when I'm coaching them, is like, no just stands for next opportunity. Like, move on. You do not need to be emotionally attached to this. I was actually teaching a class on sales Monday, and what I was sharing was, you have a responsibility from a marketing perspective that you are in control of, that you can influence about 57% of this pathway to the end result. I go, the last three parts of this, that last, what is that, 43%? Yeah. Around that space is going to be not up to you, but can be influenced by you. And those pieces that are influenced in this context is, you can influence urgency, but you can't make a problem urgent for somebody. You literally cannot influence somebody who does not want to be sold to. Nice try, everybody. That's when it gets icky.
Right.
You cannot make somebody trust you. You can influence how somebody trusts you. You can do the things necessary to build trust. And you have no access over their wallet. You do not know what resources are available to them. Only they know that. And then they make a decision based from there. So with those things said and acknowledged, it takes the emotional weight off of it, because I think we also have this feeling of not thinking that it's the next opportunity, but this feeling that if somebody tells you no, you did something wrong. Something's wrong with you. And that can't be further than the truth. So I'm going to give you your soapbox back too.
Yeah, I could not agree with you more. And truly, I want to say, I don't position myself as an expert in this. I think you're always learning. Like, I'm a student in it too. Particularly this, it had been a minute since I had been in the trenches in sales to now pivoting my business to focus on it for other business owners, and had always up to this point worked in the capacity more as like account manager, relationship management, versus this is total transparency, really first time in my sales career that I'm doing what I would qualify as like truly cold outreach, like cold sales conversations. So, you can start anytime, for those that say, oh, I'm not good at it. You can start anytime. Like I think of myself as career sales, but I'm still a student because it's a completely different skill set, particularly, working with businesses and brands that don't have the benefit of an in-house big marketing engine and don't have that established brand awareness and familiarity. So this is the first time I'm really having those conversations, and it's taken so much pressure. I have to still remind myself, like going into every conversation, it's not about a yes or no. Yeah. It's about getting to a decision, helping someone get to a decision. And that's taken so much pressure off. And then reminding myself that I can control how I show up and the energy that I bring, and keeping that, their interest in mine, first ahead of my own. But that's really the end of it. I can present, why, based on what they're telling me, why this is the best recommendation for them, but they ultimately have to make that decision for themselves. But my job is to help them get there. Yeah.
And walk them along that journey.
Yes.
Because, I have done this. People have done this to me, where in the moment, that's not the decision I made. And then a little while longer, other life things happen. I was like, actually, just kidding. I'm going back. And you do need people who can help you along that journey. And every business is helping a customer along a journey. And if you can switch your mindset to understand that you are guiding people to your point, it makes it so much easier. But you do have to remain being a student to this, because generations shift, world views shift. And if you're not a student, you can't make those flexible, adaptable changes in an impactful way. And so definitely something to consider. When you look back and we talk about those shifts and things that happen within the world, what's a pivotal moment in your brand's journey that really defined where you are today to get you to this point?
It's funny. I can think of a specific moment, but I feel like I'm in one right now, really. This time last year, my business started as a virtual assistant. All the work that I was getting with the climate of COVID was digital marketing, because businesses that either didn't have or hadn't paid attention to their online presence were freaking out. In my background, that was just kind of a lot of the work I was getting. So I doubled down to focus on that. And this time last year, I was on the fast track to burnout. I was spread across a lot. From the outside in, it probably looked pretty good, but I was spread out across a lot of stuff that I could do, but not necessarily what I love to do and what I would consider my magic, if you will.
Yeah.
It was, And I started working with the business coach. Shout out to Kylie Peters with Rain 9, still working with her. And she was in our first conversation, she said, Tamara, unless you're like super attached to trying to build out this digital marketing agency, it sounds like you really want to be doing something in sales. And I remember it was like laughed at. Like I said, well, that's funny, because I've said since I started a business, if I could just free myself up to find the business, I can find the business. And she stopped. She's like, Tamara, that's a business. And again,
the whole business that we all would rather somebody else do. Yeah.
I'm the I guess the one that just wants to create the opportunity and then let someone else deliver the opportunity. And it had just never, again, it's that thing that comes somewhat easy or naturally, that it's so quick and easy to undervalue and think, well, everybody can do that, or that, everybody wants to do that because it's your passion and it's what lights you up. So it really, I'm here. I love it when you say it's hard to drink your own champagne or read the champagne label from inside your own bottle. How did you have? Is that how you said?
It's hard to read your champagne bottle. Like, oh God, no, I can't say it. It's hard you cannot read the champagne label from inside the bottle.
Yeah. It really took someone pointing that out for me. So that set me on this path to focus on sales. And that's kind of developed over the last year. And again, it had been a minute. My idea, because I've been on the receiving end of so much bad email, was, I can do effective email outreach campaigns. Well, the landscape has changed. So there's a whole lot more to it. Feel like I'm kind of arriving at a place now to just, again, focus on giving people systems and a process in place that they don't have to wonder where the next client is coming from. Yeah. But now it's really focusing on my own leadership in this moment is the next one in my business, to be able to remove myself from being the chief doer, to be able to create opportunities, not only for the clients I serve, but the team that I'm building in order to be able to support more people. So, yeah.
That is incredible. And I'm very reflective of understanding like who you are and how you have to start showing up, because how you have to start showing up, it's a sense of awareness. I just got back from a retreat in New York, and I really I did one of those horrible things where I said, "What's wrong with me?" There's nothing wrong with me, in case we're all curious. But I was also sick. And so I'm watching all these people make these new relationships with all these new people. I made no new friends, which probably seems counterintuitive to how everybody interacts with me. They're like, "Oh, you're so happy and bubbly." And my favorite is when somebody told me I'm very effervescent as I show up on my website. I was like, "Oh, thanks." But I made no new friends. I deepened relationships, and I actually spent time realizing what holds me back. I spent a lot of time in my brain, a lot of getting deep on what that was. And in that moment of reflection, I actually realized that I value silence. All toilet jokes aside, I value silence. And I've come to my best conclusions when I'm not around people and I'm not on my cell phone and I'm just talking to myself. And so I bought this cute little necklace, not the necklace, just the charm. I don't know if you can see how tiny this key is. It's
I love delicate jewelry.
Yeah,
it's beautiful.
I'm clearly a dainty jewelry person. And I bought this little key, and I was like, nope, I'm going to unlock my inner voice, and I'm going to understand that I can speak to power, and I need to do that by finding time in silence. And so it's why I feel like I'm also pivoting. So we're going to pivot together, and I cannot wait to see what the two of us do on the other side.
I know.
Because the ability to reflect and move forward is so telling. And the shift between being chief doer and being another version of leadership is it's a transition.
And it's right now, it feels slightly outside my comfort zone. And I think a lot of it, I've had moments like this before, and it's been I've gotten in my own way, the resistance versus the staying with the discomfort of the transition and leaning into it. It's I'm my own worst client, for everything that you advocate for the people you work with, it's really hard to do for yourself. Yeah. I would count that trip for you though. And I know you've gotten to that place now in the moment. I know you're thinking, oh, it wasn't a success because you didn't make any new connections. But for myself, I find I have to pull myself out of my daily routine and go on a trip like that, somewhere different that I can't, I can't, I have just where I can find that silence, and I can't distract myself with my everyday. So that was a successful trip. I think you've arrived there.
Very. I live really close to this park.
Yeah.
I live in the hills here, and then I live really close to this park that overlooks the city through some breaks in the trees. And I've been going there I could technically walk there, but like, I don't know that I want that big of a thigh burner. So I drive
Yeah.
the 1 minute and some change it takes to get there. If you lived here, you would know everybody. It is a death walk. And I climb up further the hill and I have just been putting out a blanket and just sitting there and just
Nice.
staring. And
Yeah.
without care of what anybody around me thinks of me, very irritated if they're talking too loud, and just sitting and just sitting.
Mm-hmm.
And I have found so much peace. And you're right, it was a win. Um, I didn't come around saying like I'm gonna reach out to 5 leads a day, and I didn't come out like I have the next big marketing idea. I left with the idea that silence is the reflection point.
Mm-hmm. Yes. And it's hard to find.
Yeah.
You have to be really intentional and deliberate. Yeah.
Yeah.
But it's so valuable. You're reminding me to go find some stillness and silence.
Go find
Yeah.
some peace,
Yeah.
everybody.
Yeah.
Go find some peace, even if it seems so hard to do. We all have access to that privilege if we choose to take it.
Yes. Yes.
It's definitely a choice. And that is where that joke that silence is free, you can find it on the toilet, came to be.
Yep. T-shirt. It's going in your shop.
It's going on a t-shirt. I'm just gonna have all these like random t-shirt ideas that nobody wants to buy or they will buy. And I'm just gonna be like, why did this happen? Champagne labels on the inside because I don't want to be a pickle jar.
Mm-mm. Mm-mm.
Silence on toilets.
Mm-hmm.
I'm a brand expert, everybody.
Yeah.
Hire
Excellent.
me
It's
for your
memorable.
next joke campaign. I told you I was going to be goofy today.
Yep. I love it.
I leaned into that promise. Let's look to the future.
Okay.
What are long-term goals for expanding your brand's impact?
Really hitting on it with the focus of focusing on my leadership of my team to be able to continue growing and scaling and to serve more people. That's the immediate focus and like I said, there's been multiple points in the business where I've arrived there, but this is the moment I'm leaning into that because I want to create a business, not a job for myself, and be able to really serve more people and help more people, both internally, with the opportunities that I'm creating for people, but then both internally and externally. So yeah, just remain focused. It's going to be I think that's going to be a longer season.
It will, but it's going to be a season that has a lot of impact because I talk to countless amounts of women.
Yeah.
And some of those conversations are heard here on this podcast. They're heard on your podcast. And, when you think about how many people we talk to who are afraid of sales, who just want somebody to do that first part, or could be like me, who is busy and like, if there isn't a system in place or there isn't somebody to take that on, I can't do my best strategic work. So like, you can hold the skill, you can be skilled in this area, but it's not my favorite area. Right? Like I can do it well. And it doesn't bring me joy. Yeah. So to work with somebody who does bring you joy, to your earlier point, where like, if it comes natural to you, sometimes it feels like almost guilty to charge for it in some ways. I feel that way about brand projects. I'm like, well, yeah, no, like I see where your voice needs to be. I see the images. I saw it all in my brain. Like, let's put it up to paper. But it's needed because not everybody can do what you do. Not everybody can do good cold outreach. We see examples of shit outreach on a regular basis. Like, let us count the way we can fill up a Congress library with it. And then, not everybody can connect dots and create strategy like I can. We all have our own superpowers. And the fact that you're willing to lean into that and then teach others how to do it, as well as serve folks who need that help, that's a beautiful thing. And you should be really proud of yourself.
Thank you. And I just know for myself, like as a business owner, regardless of, I think, what level of success you achieve, there's always it's kind of like that headache over your left eye that will, that doesn't ever quite go away. That worry of where's the next client going to come from, and be able to put systems and process in place for businesses to remove some of that anxiety and worry. like when that is moved off, the power it puts back into your business to like focus on the work and what does bring you joy, when you remove just that pressure, take some of that pressure off, it restores so much just productivity and flow and joy and just results back into your business. So to be able to help someone that way, like I say, I get the chance to get up every day and help other people be successful. And some of them just happen to be my clients. So
I love that. All I heard was that you help people sleep.
Yeah.
At night.
Yeah. At the end of the day, like have a better quality night's sleep and not wonder, how you're going to continue to keep the lights on in your business.
I actually saw somebody reach out and was like, no, I really have to like close a deal because I need to pay for my employees. Like those are things that keep people up at night.
Mm-hmm.
And like all jokes aside, that is a powerful thing to give people back.
Yeah.
And creative businesses, I have a friend that you should meet. You guys would have, I would be very interested to watch the two of you talk about this actually. Creative businesses are great once they have the project, but unless they have a really strong salesperson, it's not that we're not great at sales. We could be extraordinary at sales. The issue is we paint too many pictures.
It's true. Yeah.
And so we get so creative, we get so excited, and we want to tell you all the things. And then we're like, oh, did we overwhelm you? Our bad. Like, and so it's, you need somebody who can also create that buffer.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because creative minds go.
I've also felt with those businesses too, we are the ones that are most fearful of being pushy and salesy. And so we can, a lot of us are good at creating the opportunity, but getting it over the line to actually, convert into revenue for our business. It's we resist and leave it the responsibility on our prospective client, and aren't able to help them across the line, to get into our world for us to serve them. And so just really reframing the way us like as creatives. I mean, as I'm not, there's this stereotype for a reason, tend to lead with more, heart-led, emotional thought, abstract, versus relationship-driven, which are all assets in a sales conversation.
Yes.
Versus, the perception that it's this, it shouldn't be a transaction. It should be, a relationship and an experience. So learning how to embrace that and lead with what makes you so good at what you do, versus being resistant to not wanting to do the work. Yeah.
And understanding how to put people in place.
Yeah.
So when the time for painting the picture is really relevant, because there is a point in time in a sales cycle where that is the needle mover for wherever the needle needs to go. But understand who you need on the front end. I used to be the head of sales and marketing at this staffing agency and DEI consultancy. And I had to put people way in front of our DEI consultant. Love him to death. He killed every single deal that I was like, you are officially banned from these conversations. We will put you on a pedestal and make it seem like it is the world's greatest thing to get access to you. I had to be the person right before him because I would paint too many pictures. And I'm like, yeah, well, we can solve the problem. Like, just sign on the line. I'm that person and it's totally fine. And I had to teach my team how to get the leads and how to warm up the leads, because to be transparent, me and Marcus would destroy it if you gave us to them in the very beginning.
Yeah.
Like, we were a lot, but we were really good at what we did.
Yeah.
And so if you can start to recognize that, if you can reflect on like who you need at each piece, magic really does happen. And people are and on the back end, from a brand perspective, people are so excited to give you testimonials and so excited that my camera got so close. And then, and then also so excited to tell people about how great you are.
Yeah.
And it's an art, everyone. It is an art. And then that's why you call Tam, to refine your art. And you only call me if you need really strong messaging and some other cool things. So what you do is powerful. You should know that.
Thank you. I appreciate that. And you hit on something, again, it's another Phil quote. I was very impacted by this book, but that words tell and stories sell.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And I find that absolutely to be true. So yes, there is a moment in the process for storytelling, very powerful storytelling. Yeah.
And I always use it like when I'm doing Brandmuda Brand Breakthroughs for people, I'm always like, I need you to show, not tell.
Mm-hmm.
Like we got a lot of words here.
Mm-hmm.
And the funny thing about words, I'm going to go on a soapbox now. When
Bring
you're
it.
building websites, yours is gorgeous.
Thank you.
When you're building websites, people will sometimes have these walls of text. And from one professional to millions of women's ears, nobody cares about your wall of text. And it's a barrier. Nobody wants to get through it. Nobody wants to read a novel to know how to work with you. They have a problem. They want to solve it. And that's the same thing with sales. They have a problem. They want to solve it. Can you solve it for them?
Right.
And so, but first you do have to write it out. No, even before you write it out, you need a really strong system that you know works from top to bottom, or you at least have a general idea it works top to bottom.
Yeah.
The system has to be functioning before we can write words about the system. And that's what we do next. And then once we have the words about the system, then we create the places that we highlight, that we make bigger, that we give hierarchy to our text so people can scan it. Because that's what the human brain does, is it scans. And if there's something worth reading, then they will stop. And then we pick out our pictures, because your pictures don't tell a story, and they're just, heaven forbid, horrible stock photography that has nothing to do with the words. You lost them before you can even get to Tam's sales conversation. And this is why brand marketing sales sometimes get used interchangeably. They are three very distinct functions. However, it's important that you know where those things work through in order to make all of this seamless.
And they are all necessary. As someone that is feeling it for businesses and brands that have neglected or have an inconsistent or non-existent, like, visible presence, it makes a sales conversation very hard.
Hard.
Yeah, it's hard. I mean, it's hard, period. But I mean, it doesn't have to be. It really doesn't have to be. And definitely having a strong online visible presence is the first step in the process, because that's the first place people are going to look to decide if they even want to have a conversation.
People are savvy these days, y'all. They have computers in their back pocket.
Yes. And it's up to us. There's a lot of, I mean, I think for, big corporations that have, huge ad budgets and, that they've done the job to educate brand recognition and familiarity and, credibility, thought leadership in the market. Those are all very, like, real things, and they're really must-haves, not the budget, but like having some sort of recognition, because by the time you get to a conversation, it's not a, do I want to work with you? It's how do I work with you?
How?
Yeah. So yeah, we cannot exist. They're not standalone. We definitely work. They're two standalone functions, but they work best in partnership.
Yes, they have to partner. They have to overlap. There has to be fluidity between them. Otherwise, life is going to continue to feel hard. And I mean, you choose your hard, everyone. That's what I'm going to say. Choose your own hard.
Yeah.
And let us know when you're ready to work with us. We'll be here. I'll just say it.
I like it. Full stop.
So, alrighty. We are towards the end of our time. Like I said, we could talk for 2 hours and be unfazed. So I have 2 fun questions for you.
Love it. Bring it.
Are you ready?
I did pregame a little bit.
Pregame with me? Damn. Man, do I miss that part of life. Can we go back to being 20 something? Okay. All jokes aside, what does living a luxurious day in the life look like for you?
I mean, honestly, it's a luxury is a lot of what we talked about earlier, finding the stillness, not going to bed the night before and not setting an alarm, cup of really great coffee, 2 hours of space, like uninterrupted, just space to read, think, journal, a workout, a little bit of work. There's probably a spa treatment somewhere in there.
Oh, yes, please send me.
And then like if in the day with like dinner with, not a huge dinner, but with a handful of close friends at a new place that we haven't tried. And then an early bedtime.
I love that you have an early bedtime. Like I'm
I
such a
don't.
night owl.
That would be the luxury, is that I could an early bedtime would be my definition of luxury.
I would wake up at like 10 or 11 in the morning.
I know.
The complete like flip of like, don't wake me. Blackout curtains, don't wake me. Oh man. It just reminds me that trip to New York, one of my best friends was there too. And we had left the party and then other people went to go to an after party. I was like, okay, I might come, I might not. And my girlfriend comes down to my hotel room and then calls me or texts me to be like, hey, do you still have those socks that are like slightly too small? And I was like, yeah. She's like right outside my door. And she takes the socks, goes to sleep. I take a shower and go meet everybody.
That's great.
So there's so many inappropriate jokes. We're not going to say any of them. I'll tell you later. All right, last question. In one word, what is your primary motivation in business?
I had to think about becoming. I settled on becoming. There were two. It was curiosity was the first, but then I settled on becoming. And I think it's the idea of we're never done. I think it's as soon as you think you've learned everything or you know everything or there's not, opportunity for you to give. It's just it's a process of becoming. So that's where I settled and landed. Yeah. And to help others see that in themselves and to remind myself of that in the process.
Yeah. Oh my gosh, I love it. You really did pregame. Everybody needs to get on your level. That is incredible. And a really beautiful word choice, becoming.
Yeah.
I'm going to sit with that today.
Yeah. That was a reminder for myself as much as anything else, because it's really easy to get just fixated and think we've arrived or, frustrated that we haven't. And so just being that the process is the thing and just embracing the process and be proud of every moment in it. So, yeah.
I'm obsessed. Well, my friend, let them know, how can these wonderful listeners get a hold of you and touch base?
Absolutely. Find me on my website at studio349.com. LinkedIn and Instagram, same handle. It's Tamara B. Smith on LinkedIn, and then Instagram at Studio349. So I'm excited to invite them to listen to you on my podcast.
Oh, I can't wait. Yeah. I'm so excited. I get to spend so much time with you in 1 week. It's going to be incredible.
Yeah.
And it's like double the fun, everyone.
Yeah.
It is really just a joy to have you in my orbit. So thanks you. I am so grateful that you made the time to chat with all of us here on the Luxe Sleep. Really start to bring more light into what selling should be, can be, gets to be. Mm-hmm. And we couldn't have these episodes without wonderful women like yourself. So thank you for being here.
Thanks
and for everyone listening, until next time, please subscribe and push all the buttons. I really need my 8-year-old here. It's almost summertime, y'all. He'll start popping in these and he's going to be able to do the whole like, subscribe, push buttons.
Love it.
Cool. Do all of those things if you know how to do them. If not, you'll find us when the time is right. And we're so excited to chat with you here on the Luxe Sleep. Until next time, everyone. Bye.